Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Mayor Mike, and this is Ask the Mayor. That's where you, residents of the town of East Hartford, send me questions, and then I get on a recording every Wednesday. We post it to social media, and I answer your questions. This is the first Ask the Mayor recording of 2023, so I want to take the opportunity to wish everybody a happy and healthy 2023. Hopefully, as you exited 2022, things went well, and you're starting 2023 on a positive note. That being said, you'll notice my background for those of you who may have been watching the Ask the Mayor for the last 10 or so months. The background is decidedly different. And that's because we moved from 740 Main Street. That's where we previously hosted and taped Ask the Mayor. And we are now on 50 Chapman Place, which is the Community Cultural Center. So let's talk about the new location. It is slightly north of Town Hall. So if you are on Main Street across from the gym or across from the, I guess we could call it the Center Park, that's where we host the holiday party or the holiday tree lighting. We're right in back of that. So we're in shouting distance from there. So again, you go a little bit north and then you go a little bit west down Chapman Street, and we're number 50. All of Town Hall is here. Some of our people are working remotely, but each of the stations, whether it be engineering or the mayor's office or human resources, corporation counsel, inspections and permits, all of those are housed here in various locations. So you can walk up the steps and take the elevator down to some of our locations, or you can, instead of taking the steps, take the steps down, come through the entrance where Parks and Recreation is, and you'll either go left or right depending on what services you want. And the signs are right there. So again, come visit us at the Community Cultural Center. A lot of services are remote. So for instance, assessor and tax collector, simply because it's not safe for us to take cash here. We do not have the vault. We do not have the security we had at Town Hall. So we're asking everybody to, produce checks and so forth. So I encourage everybody to go out onto the website, see what you need to make a call to the assessors, make a call to the tax office. We're trying to deliver the same high level of customer services in the past, but we understand we have to renovate Town Hall. That will be nearly 1 year. We will be out of 740 Main Street here at the Cultural Center, and we're going to do our darndest to continue to meet customer service expectations. And you'll notice this is my office, decidedly different. I am in the basement. You do need an appointment to come see me. My calendar's filled up daily. But if you want to give us a call, 860-291-7201. Jacinia Martinez is my scheduling guru. By all means, put a call into Jacinia. Let's see what the issue is. And if you want to meet with me, by all means, we certainly want to be responsive to the public as we always have been. So that's number one. Number two, you may have seen either in publication or on the news media, the town now owns Church Corners Inn. Long story, but calls for service are numerous, more than 500 a year for police, more than 100 a year for fire on average. And it's destabilizing downtown. The last thing I want, the last thing you want, is to own essentially a rooming house. But in order for us to move this community forward, we have to do things that are fairly and extremely difficult. And we're going to do it on Church Corners Inn. We have a standing every 2-week meeting. We have an outside company called the Glendower Group that is helping us. And at the end of the day, this is good news for the tenants. It's good news for the community. It's good news for downtown. And I want to shout out to our legislative delegation led by Representatives Rojas, Jenga Curry, and Senator Anwar. They made this possible with Community Investment Fund money, CIF is what they call it, $2.5 million, and we bought it for $950,000, with the additional monies used for security, insurance, relocation, and so forth. Some of the other things we're responsible with. But this is a good start for 2023, and it'll allow us again to stabilize downtown. So thank you to our legislative delegation. Bear with us while we undertake things that, in all candor, government should not take care of. But when the private sector fails us, sometimes government has to step in. So that being said, let's turn our attention to Silver Lane now. So we'll move from Main Street, we'll go south, we'll take a left on Silver Lane, and right about where Pratt & Whitney's main entrance is, also the entrance to Cabela's, you will see a fleet of trucks coming through dropping soil off on the old Rentschler Field site. That's because on January 3rd, National Development took possession of the site from Raytheon. They paid a considerable amount of money, and they are now starting a very large warehouse development, 2.5 million square feet. There'll be two large buildings. The buildings will be about the size of two football fields, so end to end, and that will be times two. They will be 1.25 million square feet each. They will bring new tax revenue to the community. They will bring us new inspections and permit revenue to the tune of about $4 million, and they will bring us about a $4 million impact payment. Now, I've gotten calls over the weekend when they saw these truckers and they said, "You're going to drop our taxes, right, Mayor?" And in all candor, we face the same pressures on our budget as you do. We buy an inordinate amount of gas and inordinate amount of diesel fuel. We pay higher prices for electricity. So the same, we'll call it pressures that are on your budget are on the town budget. So I fully expect that some of this money that will start to be rolling in will be used to mitigate, meaning make lower a tax increase, but there's no way we will escape a tax increase in the upcoming budget. Happy to debate that in a lot more detail on a future meeting. We are number 117 of 169 towns, so our taxes are low and the services we provide are extremely high. So for those who call me and just leave me a message that you want lower taxes, it's not quite that simple. And again, happy to have that discussion somewhere down the road. But national development is alive and well. The Rentschler Field Logistics Center is underway, and that will be good for our community in the form of jobs and so forth. That brings us a little further down Silver Lane, continuing, I guess it would be east on Silver Lane, the old Silver Lane Plaza, which is right abuts Silver Lane, right near Applegate Lane. And it's been pretty much vacant and blighted for the past 30 years. There are about 10 or 11 businesses there. We have gone through an eminent domain process supported by the redevelopment agency, supported by the town council. And today, our attorneys will be in court filing a certificate of taking. And they can only do that because we've gone through the nearly year-long process. And we've also placed a $4.52 million deposit on hand with Superior Court. And once the certificate of taking is filed, and that can only be filed after 35 days so that anybody who has an interest in the property can appeal it if they so seek. We are unaware of any appeals. So the certificate of taking was filed today, and it should be anywhere within the next day to perhaps as much as 2 weeks that the clerk of Superior Court will turn that property over to us. And then we will begin the redevelopment process on Silver Lane. So in terms of good news, we have national development. That's the best news. That's new development on 280 acres at Rentschler Field. Two, the town now owns Church Corners Inn, and for the next 3 to 6 months, we'll be endeavoring to relocate or resettle the 30 or so residents in there. And we have to do that carefully and by prescribed laws by the state of Connecticut. And then we also have the eminent domain taking of Silver Lane Plaza. I know that term eminent domain scares some people, but in this particular case, when the private sector fails a community, government does have certain powerful tools at its disposal. And in this case, again, after nearly a year-long process, the community spoke in a single, uniform, loud voice, and they said, "We need something different on Silver Lane at Silver Lane Plaza." So as we approach or get into year 2023, we have 3 bits of good news. That being said, mark on your calendar, February 15th, 2023. That is when I will do the new Town Hall 2023. If you remember, on January 19th, 2022, I introduced something called the Control Tower. And we're simply updating the Control Tower and making it a new and a little bit less complicated document for 2023. And that'll be the subject of where your community is going in 2023. Segment of that meeting, it'll start 6:30 here at the Community Cultural Center. We'll put out invitations, we'll do social media, but you'll have an opportunity to hear where we transitioned in 2022 and how we did on that control tower. Much of it was completed or at least underway. And then the 2023 control tower represents the continuing spawning or the continuing vision from the 2022 control tower, plus some new projects for 2023. So we are making progress. We are making good progress, quite candidly. And I invite everybody to hear about what their community is going through and up to in 2023. Last bit, and I touched upon it in some of my comments, budget preparation is underway. Toward the latter part of February, we'll start to have budget hearings. You have to turn out. You have to speak on your budget if you have a comment. And again, you know squarely where I am as far as taxation. They didn't put me in office when they elected me in 2021 to gut services in order to save taxes. I think what people want are stabilized taxes and the cadre of services we currently deliver. So that being said, that's the first few comments that I'll talk about related to the budget. And again, in a future episode, we'll talk about it a lot more. So today is Wednesday. This is the first episode of Ask the Mayor 2023. Keep the questions coming. We didn't have a lot of questions over the holidays, so I've preempted those and gave you updates on Town Hall, Church Corners Inn, National Development, Silver Lane Plaza, the 2015 or the February 15th Town Council. Town Hall that we'll be holding on the new control tower for 2023. And I gave you a little bit of sampling into the budget preparation that is underway. So that being said, hopefully your 2023 is going well. I'm Mayor Mike. I'm at 50 Chapman Place because Town Hall will be closed for the next year. Please see the website if you need to make a tax payment or you need to see the assessor or any other services. And I look forward to hearing from you as we roll into 2023. Take care.